All right.
This coffee
It's crisp. It's crisp, right?
clean. Like, look at how clean that is.
It's nice.
Boom. Look at that.
This is probably the best coffee I've had in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Movement.
You interrupt me again. I was going to say Beyond Movement.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm fired.
See, I stole your clap.
Wow.
How you like that?
Like it.
Okay, we're during 36 questions. 36 questions.
I think we had a good feedback on this one. But yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep rolling.
36 questions, part 2.
Well, just in case it's your first time listening, 36 questions is
Oh my
what again?
God.
Well,
Why you make me do all the work?
Okay, just go back to the other episode where the...
Oh, that's Eljay's way of putting this. You just go back.
Yeah.
36 questions. So I found these 36 questions from some YouTubers, actually. There were a couple. It's labeled as 36 questions to fall in love with somebody, but I think it's 36 questions just to get to know somebody better.
Yeah.
So I can honestly get to know you better. You can get to know me better. And anybody who wants to know us better, you'll learn some stuff about us.
And if you don't want to know us better, then just stop the podcast right here. Go to the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so...
Are you flexing?
Last question that we left off on was the weird one. I didn't even like this question. It was like, if you were at age 90 years old, do you want a mind or body of a 30-year-old? It just leaves too much gray area.
Yeah.
And for me, I just get way too negative, being like, well, if you've got the body of a 30-year-old, but your mind is 90, you got Alzheimer's, you don't know who you are, you got dementia.
Or you have all the wisdom, all the knowledge.
See, no.
And then you have
No.
the 30-year-old body. You can still do all of
You're
them.
just forgetting where you are all the time.
That's it. That's it. Well, as long as you have Google Maps, bro, you're good to go, man.
So,
Call night.
okay, so new question. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
I think I do.
Do you actually? So again, for clarity for anyone who's watching or new, I've answered most of these questions. Diane and I haven't finished this yet.
Yeah.
But I've answered a lot of these questions with Diane already. So my answers are kind of
I'm going to tell
preloaded.
AJ not to listen to this.
Yeah, my answers are kind of preloaded in my head, but yours are all like
It's right
snap.
now.
So
Yeah.
tell you honestly, with Diane, do I have a secret hunch about how I'll die? Answer was straight up and just no. There was nothing interesting about it. I was just like, not really. I've never thought about it.
Really?
I can tell you on how, I can't even tell you how I would want to die. I just don't think about it.
Actually, I think I can answer both of that.
I can. For me, I'll tell you, if I went to see that movie, The Joker, it's a very well done movie.
I've never seen it.
It's very well done, but holy shit, it's depressing. When I don't like listening to sad music. I don't like watching sad movies. I don't like immersing myself in anything that's going to be sad or elicit negative emotions because, man, I'm just too malleable or too spongy. I watch a
You'll
sad
just
movie.
absorb it.
When I watched The Joker in the theater, I was driving home like, holy shit. Oh man, it just took me down so much. I was like, that was a good movie, but I don't want to watch that shit again. It was just sad.
I get you.
So sad. So for me, I don't like thinking about my death. Even if I do think about it, it's normally in the light of oh, well, what's LJ going to do if I die? What's Diane going to do when I die?
So many thoughts.
What's Denza going to do if I die?
Never ending.
And then it goes down this path that is nowhere positive. So I just don't think about it.
Yeah.
Floor is yours.
I don't know. I'm a bit of a crazy driver. I think
I know.
I've always, I don't know. It's just in my head. I feel like it's going to be a car crash.
That sucks. See, I don't even want to talk about this no more.
Okay, fine.
I'm getting sad.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, so that's your hunch. You think it's going to be a car crash, but you also said you know how you want to go.
Well, if I am, let's say, if a doctor tells me you got about 24 hours to live, I'm going to live the 23, and then on the last one, I'll get a motorcycle.
Just go hard.
I'm going to go hard.
Go hard.
I'm going to go hard. Super hard.
I
love speed. I don't know why.
The problem with that, though,
is
is you put other people at risk doing that. Because I've thought that too. Because again, if I was to die, I wouldn't want to. People always say, "Oh, I just want to die
hang
in
on
my
a sec.
sleep."
Let me pause you. In my head, I was imagining it, and it's like a straight road, no one else. It's
Yeah.
drive to Saskatchewan. I'm just I don't know, something. But it's like I'm gonna go hard, and then if there's like little turns, I'm gonna take all those turns at like top speed.
Can you imagine just like in the mountains and just rip off a cliff? Just, holy, that's terrifying.
Have a GoPro with you, you know? I'll probably take a GoPro with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be disturbing.
I see. I don't want to, like, for me, currently right now, Diane brings me the most comfort in life. But I wouldn't want, I don't know, I don't think I would want to die, like, in her arms, because I don't know if I would want her to go through that. Here's a weird one while we're on this death topic.
Who's going first?
Who's going first?
Nope.
She straight up says that she's like, I don't even know, because again, I'm a big wuss. I don't even talk about it, but she's just like, I want you to go first. And I'm like, why?
Why?
Yeah, but like her answer, she's like, she doesn't want us to see like what it would be if I had to go by myself through this life.
Yep.
Like without her or anything like that. Like it would mess me up.
A lot of girls out there.
I haven't. Wow. I haven't dealt with a lot.
Edit.
Have you been to a lot of funerals?
I've been to a few.
I've like been to 2 or 3, but no one really close. Have you been to someone close?
I've had someone really close to me die, but I wasn't at that funeral.
For me, I haven't. Nobody's super close, or I was too young. My grandma. I don't know how I deal with it, man. I just don't even want to think about it. Like anybody, it's not something nice. Let's move on.
But the crazy thing is, it's a reality every day, every hour, every minute in this world that we live in.
It's true,
right?
That doesn't mean I want to think about it.
Kobe Bryant, who knew?
Not to mention everybody else who was on that helicopter.
Exactly. Not to mention everyone else who died that day.
Everyone in the hospital, all the people from the coronavirus, China, all this shit.
Yeah, there's a lot. So it's hard. It's absolutely a topic that is not easy to talk about.
I'm not the most optimistic. Lots of life happening too, though.
Absolutely, of course. Yep. But so on that kind of like same question, talk about death. It was actually weird. I'm not sure if you have. And you don't have to answer it. If you have like life insurance or anything, like a last will.
Are you trying to sell me life insurance right now? Is this a pyramid scheme?
Eric doesn't have one. For anyone who's selling it, I have one. But it's weird because you answer all...
Turn your phone off. Amateur.
Sorry.
What is this, amateur hour?
Amateur hour.
I thought we pros.
Sorry, guys. What was I saying?
Life insurance.
You answer.
You're trying to sell me.
You answer the questions on that will as if you're already gone.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing ever. It's like I'm making decisions, but I'm not here anymore.
That is weird. When you say like that.
Who's gonna take care of your kids? Your cars, your belongings, everything. Like, who do you want that to go to? How do you want your funeral arranged? How do you like
that statement? That statement
was weird.
That statement's so messed up. I'm gonna go off track because that's what I like to do. The statement of you're making decisions even though you're not here anymore. In these, I'm really digging like Viking shows right now. The Vikings, when they like come across like the people of like England and shit like that. They're like, they see all these papers with all these words on it, and they're like, this is magic. This is words without sound.
Wow.
Because Vikings, like, they never thought about, like, actually, like, that's what that is. It's like words without sound. You're making decisions and you're not here. So to answer your question, I reviewed life insurance and stuff with my dad, and the only thing right now, we decided not to do anything yet, so I haven't gone down that path.
Sure.
That's
it. Just again,
it was clear to me that path was something that I would go down the road if I had kids. As soon as I have kids, I'll probably turn that piece of life on. But right now, if I was to die today, Diane or my dad, someone gets my house or that money invested in my house, all my stuff, it'll go to between them. And I think Diane.
And that's exactly what that thing's for. Is for you to make it easy for the people that you leave behind. To like not
will
like
is different than life insurance.
Like but like a lot the life insurance money, say for example, will go to this person, but like your will, like who does your computer go to? Who do you want it to? Like, do you want your history wiped off? I was kidding.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but just every other decision that they would start to think like
it's weird.
Like if Diane and your dad will say it, like, well, what would Eric want? Like who would like, does
That's
he
weird.
exactly
Without clarity.
exactly? So you make it like by having that, and it's not that expensive. By having that, if it ever happens, knock on wood, if it ever happens,
It's clear.
everyone you'll be leaving behind will have not really an easier time that you're gone, but just making decisions on behalf of you because you already wrote it down.
Yeah,
So
it's clear. Okay, let's move on to the question. I'm tired of this shit. Okay, this is a weird one. We have to decide. Name 3 things that you and your partner appear to have in common. You want to do this, me and you, or you want to do you and your wife, me and Diane? I feel like it should be me and you because it's me and you talking.
Yeah, me and you.
Okay, so name 3 things that we have in common.
Passion for fitness, love for helping people, and love for coffee and podcasting. And
okay, just take it all. Just take it all. I was gonna say obviously
even with the differences that we have, obviously different upbringing, right? Different cultures, different upbringing. I think that's why I feel like we're quite the partner in this journey. Is we just have that passion to help people be better. That's one of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say obviously fitness is one.
Yeah.
And then like
that's almost like a given.
That's a given.
Yeah.
And then like the desire, like the passion of like, honestly, it's like development, but it's not like a perfectionist development. It's like a development, but it's also like just trying to understand development. It's trying to understand habits. It's trying to understand growth.
Yeah.
Because we're not just like grow, be better, perfect, grow, perfect, grow, perfect. It's like we try these little things and we do stuff because we're not perfect.
Yeah.
And we try and talk about it, and we're just trying to like humanize some things more, I think.
Yeah.
So,
and again, for those of you listening to this, we're not perfect. We're in this journey with you. We're not just directing you where to go. We're in this with you. Like we're trying things out as well.
Yeah.
We're not perfect.
So that's 2. Coffee is 1, but I want like my 3rd one. I want it to be like, I'm trying to think of something like more beefy than just something simplistic. I would say a love of play. Being like you're very playful with the kids. And I don't think I've reached that level of playfulness with your kids yet.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't spent enough quality long-term time with them. But I love playing with kids. I love being like, I would love, say we live closer together. I would love if you're like Saturday, you'd be like, yo, we're going to the park to play tag. I'd be like, count me in.
Yeah.
I'm coming to play some tag. I want to play
Tell
some
them
tag.
to warm up and stretch.
Yeah. Like I like playing tag. I like playing basketball. Like I like just playing.
I get you.
Like you see me like being in the gym, one of the few people somersaulting, cartwheeling, and jumping around and playing. People think it's showing off, but it's just playfulness, and you have that playfulness too. I've seen you do it with kids and stuff like that. So
I love playing with kids.
just being playful,
sure.
not taking life super seriously.
Yeah.
And that's something I appreciate about you, because I do sometimes I'm like hypercritical, and I do try to establish like a high level of things. So when I see your playfulness, it kind of just it's a reality check for me to like just cool out a little bit, just be playful.
all right.
Yeah. So
Doesn't need to be perfect and professional all the time.
yeah, and I'm definitely not, because I'm definitely a brat, like on the gym floor, and I'm playful and I harass people. But more when I'm looking in myself, I'm being very critical and perfectionist. And I watch you, and then it kind of remind me, cool out.
Cool. Next, that was 2 questions down.
For what in your life do you feel most grateful for?
That's a tough one.
I
would say
huge. It's a huge question.
It is. I would say, I guess just my my upbringing. I think I'm grateful, and again, that wasn't my choice. So I'm grateful for it because my mom's my mom, my dad's my dad, my grandpa's my grandpa. I think like all the experiences that I had growing up is kind of like, I don't know. I think it became me, and then I feel good about me because I feel like, and I'm not putting myself up here, obviously, but I feel like I'm a very caring, loving, giving person, and it's because the people who raised me was the same way. So grateful for those people who raised me.
It's a tough one. So for me, right off the bat, I thought grateful when I answered this with Diane, I thought about what brought me the most immediate happiness. I'm like, what brings me the most immediate happiness? That's the thing I'm most grateful for, because it gives me the most happiness. So when I answered it with Diane, the answer was straight up her. And her answer wasn't me, which is fine. But she just like, I'm like, what gives me the most happiness right now? It's like being close to her. If she's around me, I'm happy. That's like my most grateful. Reflecting now, though, it might sound cheesy, but I've had more time to reflect. It's almost like just like the opportunity to experience everything I've experienced, good and bad. Obviously, you don't appreciate the bad shit when it's happening to you, but once it's done, that's the...
You grow from it.
That's the contrast. You can't have happiness without going through some shit. Like, because if everything's always happy, it's like if everything's special, then nothing is. So, like when I'm sick, and I'm sick right now, and we just finished one recording, I was like, went to the bathroom, and I was like, man, I want to work out so bad right now. I was feeling motivated after our talk. I was like, man, I want to work out. Maybe I should just try a little bit. And then I felt like sweat still, and I felt like my body's still weak, and my mind's in it, my body's not. But like being sick right now, when I do feel like I'm ready to work out again, I'm going to like appreciate that ability to move again even more, because I haven't moved for a while. My life has almost felt like it's been in stages of like childhood, elementary, junior high, high school, after high school. Then it's in stages of friendships and girlfriends and cliques. Like there's all these different stages. It's too much to tell you everything.
Of course.
But I appreciate all of those stages, and it almost seems like a dream, some of them. Because I can't give you good details on some of the shit that I've done in my life. If I told you about my ex-girlfriend who I dated for 6 years, it's very foggy. Even though I was in my 20s, it's very foggy. And
I'm
like,
the same, yep.
So like, but it is a stage that I still appreciate because I've grown from it. So it's just like the opportunity to live this life and kind of grow from it. And I don't always feel grateful for it, because sometimes, you know, to have this mindset of like, I'm grateful for everything, it's hard to always have that, but that's how I feel right now. I'm just grateful for everything.
You're in a good spot then. Cool.
If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Not one.
So for me, mom and dad listening to this, I love you guys.
Yep. Actually, I have an answer for that now, but you go first. Go ahead.
Mine isn't... I don't want to like make all these answers super long, but I think my parents did a pretty kick-ass job, because all of the negative experiences that I had in life was not from my house. And even though like I did have fallbacks and things like that, you know, if I got bullied, I learned to take care of myself, or my brother stepped in. It was kind of like off and on, but it made me harder to the world. Like when we talked about trust, I'm less trusting, because I'm a little hardened to the world. Like the doors are a little more shut now. I don't trust.
You've had experiences that wasn't very pleasant.
Yeah, there's some scars on me that like hold back a little bit. But if I was to change one thing about how I was raised, like I think my mom did a kick-ass job. My dad worked out of town a lot. Mom did a really good job raising us. The one thing that I feel like could have been better, though, was better financial habits.
I was gonna say the same thing. That's why I said I'm like, I hope, because at some point there was okay. I didn't really want to interrupt you. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, so it's not that my parents. Yeah. It's not that they didn't teach me how to save. We did save a little bit, but it was kind of like the consistency and the habit building of saving as a child. It wasn't fully there. I never really banked up, at least to my memory. Maybe Dad's gonna call bullshit, or Mom's gonna call bullshit, but I don't remember like saving a lot of money. It wasn't. I never learned like pay yourself and then it was like my habit building of finances was, if I need money, I make it to spend it. So I was like, I want food, I want money for candy, I'll go and shovel walks, I'll rake leaves, I'll change garbage.
Do whatever you need to do.
I'll go clean your garden or whatever. I would ring doorbell to doorbell, being like, hi, would you like me to mow your lawn with my brother? And you pay us whatever you feel is worth it. Some people pay us $1, some people give us $20. Yeah. But if we needed money, we made it and we spent it. Yeah. I never had concrete saving habits implemented in my life. So something that I want to do when I have kids is that I want them to have an allowance. It's like, this is your chores. You get $5, but $2.50 goes to savings, permanent savings, and $2.50 goes to spending. Yeah. And then when you want something, you set a goal like, oh, you want this? You can either work extra to get it, or you just continue your savings until you can unlock it. It wasn't fully integrated habits in my childhood. I don't think
to save.
I don't think so.
Yeah. See, for us back in the Philippines, it wasn't even, and I'm not sure if I'm, you know what, I'm just going to go with my experience. So the way we grew up, it wasn't like it, we didn't work until we graduated university.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a job. And I was never pushed to work. Also because I feel like I didn't need to work because every time I asked for money, there's money.
Yeah.
I was spoiled. And then I think that I feel like I still appreciate that my mom or my dad worked hard for this money. That's why I have this car. That's why I have this bike. That's why I have all the money that I have now that I can spend with my friends and hang out with a girlfriend or do whatever, you know. But it's like, I feel like I still appreciate it, but not to that extent that it almost never occurred that it could run out.
Yeah, that's a fair guesstimate,
right?
As a child, like as a kid, especially.
Right? Well, I was already in even high school, university. Like
when you were
when
you were like 12, 13, 14, even as a younger kid, did you just feel like your parents kind of had all the answers?
Well, yeah,
I thought my parents had all the answers.
I still think they do.
I don't anymore, but frick, I used to think so. I used to think my parents had all the answers and they had adulthood figured the fuck out. Now, not so much. I see it, but man, yeah. So understanding
in my from my perception, I'm like, if I still need someone to talk to, like outside of, like, let's say yourself, AJ, right? It's still my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's that closeness.
But like financial wise, I wish I was better. I wish I learned like how to save, how does taxes work, how does everything else.
See, I had a job in grade 10.
Yeah.
And it wasn't pushed on me, but it was more of like a hard suggestion from mom and dad, I think. That's what I remember anyways, of them saying like, you want more money, then get a real job and you'll make more money. In grade 10, I was working at a pet store damn near full time. I would go to school from like 7 to 3, and I'd go to school at 7 so I could work out. 7 to 3, and then I'd work from like 5 to 10, and I would close the store down. So I was working about 5 hours, probably for
as a kid,
as a student, whether I was like 14 or something like that. But I was making a lot of money, but I was also blowing it just as fast. Again, as a kid, in those days,
you earn it, you spend it.
Back in those days, though, like my paycheck might be 500, 600.
Sure.
In 2 weeks.
But not all kids will have that.
That's a lot for a kid. That's a lot of cash for a kid. And I was buying all the fast food I wanted, anything. Like I could eat out as much as I wanted to, or any of my friends, I would treat them. Video games, no questions asked. If I wanted a game, I just go buy it. So like all that money I made, $500 every 2 weeks as a kid.
Just spend it.
Boom, 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 gone. And looking back, that's just a poor habit that I built. So... couple more questions. We're on 11, so 2 more. Oh man, this is a big one though. Ooh, this is the hardest one. It says, take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible.
Ooh.
Oh, we'll let you go first. This is a tough one. I tried this with Diane, and 4 minutes in, I think I only hit like the start of high school, and then I was like, shit, I thought I could break it down from like childhood, elementary, junior high, high school. Where's your stopwatch on this bad boy? Stopwatch.
4 minutes. I don't know. I feel like I condense it a little bit more. I don't know if I can tell you the whole thing.
I want your whole life story in 4 minutes. 3, 2. Wait, is this a stop? There's a timer. Stopwatch, and go. 4 minutes. No interruptions.
Hang on. Let me read that again.
Oh my god!
Take 4 minutes and tell your partner
already been 10
your life
seconds.
story in as much detail as possible.
Okay, I'm starting in 3, 2, go.
Yeah. So I grew up being raised by basically 4 individuals: my mom, my dad, my grandpa, my grandma. So all of them had a lot of influence in me in making decisions or making just doing whatever. I went to Catholic school from preschool all the way to, actually, I think the university I went to was also Catholic. Private school from back in the Philippines. It's mostly private schools. So private school from when I started going to school all the way to university. I go to church. I believe in God, and
You're not even telling me anything.
I don't. It's hard to tell your life story.
You got 3 more minutes. Keep going.
I was never bullied. I believe. I don't think I was an actual bully when I was in elementary or high school, but I was a varsity player for our basketball team from 5th grade all the way to 4th year high school, and that influenced a lot of that built a lot of friendships that I wanted. That also actually most of the friendships that I had I wanted. But that almost paved the way of, like, it built my confidence. And then again, decision-making skills. It's almost like I've learned playing sports. I've learned how to gauge people. Like, can I take this guy in a basketball game? Am I better than him? It's almost like gauging myself against the person in front of me every time, which was kind of like good in a way because it almost helped me in the career that we have now. It's almost like there's always a transaction happening whenever you talk to someone or like a new client. Are they going to sell me or am I going to sell them? Like, who's better at this? It's almost like gauging myself against someone every time. I've had a lot of good experiences in my life, and I'm very grateful for it. That's why I try and like right now at this point, I feel like my thoughts are a little bit more collected. I have kids, so my experiences are, I don't know, it's just exponentially expanded from when I was in elementary and high school. And I feel like I have a lot to share to people. So I enjoy doing this podcast with you to basically do that. I don't know if I need 4 minutes.
You want to call it there?
I can't. I love cars. I love bikes. I love speed. And I love lifting weights. Yep. I think that's it. I don't know. There's not a whole lot special, but
okay. You want to call her there?
I'm gonna call there 304. Yep.
Okay. I went into a lot more detail. I was more trying to share my experiences and like almost let Diane in on like the small details that I appreciated in life. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I'll try. Actually, maybe try to get through it. We'll see.
That's rough life story.
It's a weird one, but it's how it's. I guess it's about the person too, about how much detail you want to put in. For me, it was reflecting a lot on all of my past history, and I was almost trying to share it, like so you could live it with me. But, anyways, I will start. Meow. So I break this down from childhood to school to school to school to after school. So childhood, like from like 0 to elementary, don't remember a lot, but I have some interesting memories. Those memories are like I used to have a Raptors jacket, like a pullover winter jacket, a big like purple and black one. There was one that you slipped on a winter jacket. Such a badass jacket. If I could still have that, I would wear that. It was my favorite jacket. So cool. I have like family videos of me like playing in the snow and making like forts and stuff.
With that on.
Now I hate snow. But as a child, I used to love it. And then I have one other weird memory from a childhood where I was playing with a bow and arrow in a basement, but the whole basement was carpet. The walls were carpet, the roof was carpet. It was one of those weird ass basements, and my bow and arrow stuck to carpet. It had like some kind of Velcro-y arrows, so I just used to sit in this basement and just plug arrows away. I don't even know whose basement it was. I just have this weird memory of that. Elementary, I loved and enjoyed a lot. I have a lot of good memories, but I have to reach back in my brain to actually think about them. But it goes along the lines of like playing with my friends. We used to play adventure games, kind of like fantasy games. And then once I kind of hit like grade 5 or 6, I stopped like interested in those games so much, and I used to like watch the guys play football and be like, man, I kind of want to play football. Like that looks like it's fun. So I kind of switched friend circles and started playing like more football and stuff like that. And I also have memories. I still talk to one of these girls. Her name's Lisette. We used to play like boys chase girls and stuff like that, and she remembers those days too, where it's just like kids would just go out on recess and be like, today's boys chase girls day, and then we just chase girls for no real reason, or girls chase boys. And I remember some of those girls were fast. Lisette was one of them. I can't remember who was faster, but I'm gonna say me. I don't think she's ever gonna listen to this, so right. I automatically win.
Yeah. Well, we can do a retest. If she doesn't reaches out,
oh man,
we can do a retest.
I'll just challenge her on Instagram.
There you go.
Race day.
Race day.
Okay. Anyways, we're 2 minutes in already. See what I mean? Now I'm just trying to tell you cool experiences that I enjoyed.
Cool.
Junior high was like my favorite schooling time. That's when I started hanging out with a bunch of like Filipino guys. What happened? I totally changed friend circles again. As I came into the lunchroom, and there was like a retreat or something. What are those when kids all leave to go to the science fair or some shit like that? And my parents didn't sign the paper. I forgot to get them to sign it. So I walked into the lunchroom all by myself. All my friends were gone on some retreat. And I was like, shit, this sucks. And I recognized one guy from one of my classes where I'm like, well, I'm going to go and try to sit down with him. So I'm not sitting by myself. Went and sit down with him, and he started giving me a hard time. Very playful, right? Kind of like you. Very playful. He's like, yo, bro, you can't sit with us. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like,
look at your skin color, man.
Yeah, like, this is this crew. And I was like, oh, like, and we're being playful.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got integrated into that clique. And then junior high was like my favorite. Now I only have 1 minute.
Quick.
Yeah. I hated high school. That's when I got a little bit more bullied, got a little more cold and sour to the world. I skipped as much high school as I could. I passed all my courses. I passed all my courses and I like graduated, but that's like I was going to the gym at 7 a.m. to avoid the busyness of the buses, and I would normally skip my last class at the end of the day to avoid the busyness of the buses and all the mayhem of all the schools getting off. And I would just like lie through my teeth to my parents when I come home. They'd be like, oh, you're home early today? I'd be like, yeah, I had a spare. Always a spare. And they're not stupid. They knew what was going on sometimes, and I had to meet with the principal, and he's like, you're skipping your classes. What's going on? You're going to get expelled. And I'm like, but I'm passing them, so who cares? He's like, well, you're passing them, but you could do better. Don't you want to do better? I'm like, no, not really.
10 seconds.
10 seconds, and I got old, and fuck, we do a podcast now.
And I love it, and I enjoy it. Oh, I actually...
That's not my life story, but that's half.
I get you. I loved... I enjoyed it all.
Your life story?
Yeah. My wife actually is a little jealous of that. But elementary, high school, university, like all of them have so much highlights. And it's like those were days where you wake up. I still do. Like you wake up and you're just excited to go to school. I was just excited.
No, I definitely enjoyed summers more. Summers were the highlight of hanging out with Denza quite a lot. Like every summer was like Denza. Because me and Denza went to different schools. Denza is my best friend of 25 years. So summers was like Eric and Denza time. And that's like where we just always hung out every like summers. Those are like highlights of my life for sure. But hated high school. Elementary and junior high, I enjoyed. But high school was no.
University was the best. Wow. I was a party animal. Raced cars. And just drank and partied and smoked.
You're a bad example. Okay, last question.
Hey, I'm like the perfect example because, you know, you can still, it doesn't matter how bad you were, man, you can still turn it around.
And get big biceps.
Oh, well. That's an XL shirt.
Last question. I don't know how long this has been. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be? Now, to give you some context in this, I didn't go down the superhero route with Diane being like, oh, I'm going to be super fast or super strong or blah, blah, blah. I wanted it to be like something realistic, tangible that I could wake up tomorrow and actually in this life be better. So for me, my answer was if I could wake up tomorrow gain one quality or ability, that ability would be to not give a shit about what anybody thinks. Because I often analyze other people, I critique other people, I analyze myself, and I critique myself. And I think I told you this. I feel like I'd be more successful if I didn't always care about what other people think.
Because I think 95% of the people.
I think a lot of the things that I do in life have good intentions and they all would come across the right way. But there's a part of me that's nervous being like, oh, what if it sets somebody off, or what if somebody gets offended, or what if this, or what if that? And then it kind of just makes me hold back just a little bit. And I wish I would just do me regardless of circumstance. That's something that, like, going forward, I actively want to get better at. So maybe don't wake up tomorrow and have it, but maybe in a year or two, I will live my life without other people's like perceptions or anything affecting me.
Yep. I don't think it's been quite a while since I've felt a little stressed. Let's say about work, about family, about travel, and this past let's say past 3 months, all those things have happened.
Yeah.
Right, like a little bit change of job, travel, one month travel to the Philippines, like with all my kids. Like there's a few highs and lows, and kids getting sick and stuff like that. I think it has affected me a little bit. I can see it with my relationship with the kids. I don't think I used to, let's say, yell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself sometimes like my fuse is just a little shorter because I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of things outside.
So you quicker to correct one and be like, hey, because I got enough shit going on.
Yeah. So I want to wake up, let's say tomorrow, if there's one thing, to make sure that I just act out of love and talk out of love every time to my kids. That's it. Wife and kids.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I want them to know that when it's dad, it's play, it's love, and it's just always for the better.
That's a hard one. One of my mentors talked to me about that, being like, people normally make decisions out of love or out of fear. Mm-hmm. And normally when you're making decisions out of fear, whether it's like you're jealous or envious or like whatever, like if you made all of your decisions in life out of love, then you can't go wrong. Like, doesn't matter.
Can't go wrong.
So
that was a good one.
All right. Well, that's our 36 questions part 2. Got a couple more parts to go, but those will come at us slowly but surely. Hope
we're going to have 6 of them.
Yeah.
So.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Got to know us a little bit better.
Thank you for listening.
We will catch you guys later.